Sarasota Film Festival showcased beautiful films and incredible stories just last month, which included several local filmmakers who were able to showcase their work. And today, we have one of those filmmakers. And here to tell us about her short film, 6 Degrees of Sarasota, is director and producer Alex Redmond. Hi.
Hi, Nancy.
I saw your film, and it was just amazing. It was just amazing. I mean, we've all had these incidents come up, but your 6 Degrees of Sarasota was about people who knew each other from decades ago and reconnected here. So please tell our viewers who were unable to see it or unfortunate enough not to see it all about your film.
Well, thank you, Nancy, and I'm very glad that you came to see it. It was an amazing experience because what I realized, having lived in 5 countries and been to far more, speaking 3 languages, was that after moving to Sarasota following 9/11, I kept bumping into people that I knew from my past. A woman that I knew from Tokyo, Japan, that I went to middle school with 37 years prior.
How did you meet her?
All without the help of social media. I walked into her store, Asian Art, on Fruitville Road, with a camera for, you may remember Donnie G had Blab TV. He said, go out there and shoot this promo for me. So I went in there. Her child was speaking Japanese. So I said, Nihongo wakarimasu ka? And her child looked at me and said, you speak Japanese? Then her mother said, did you live in Japan? Yes. Where? Tokyo. Where? Roppongi. Where? Turns out she and I were very good friends. We went to the same school together.
I have goosebumps. I do.
It was so funny. And then she brought another young woman to a little project that we did. And the woman looked at me and said, Alex, is your last name Redmond? Did you live in New York? Did you cut hair? Did you work at...
Oh my gosh.
She used to have green dreadlocks. Now she owns Kimmy B Salon in Gulfgate.
Oh my gosh.
And the woman in my spin class whose uncle, by marriage, wrote a musical drama that my mother was in London in 1940.
Oh my gosh.
So I believe as an only child that we have to reach out for those connections. It's so important to talk to people because we are all connected. And as an only child, I crave those connections. It's served me well.
Oh my gosh, they're heartwarming and they're just so, they bring so much more to your present and your past.
Yes.
Right? Now, what were some of the challenges that you found making the film, Alex?
Well, part of the challenge when you're reaching back decades is trying to find what we call in the film industry BRoll. So you're not just interviewing people with a talking head. If somebody's talking about a yearbook in Japan, you have to track down that yearbook and actually show those beautiful photos. I was actually able to track down the newspaper article on my mother from 1940, appearing in Mark Blitzstein's The Cradle Will Rock. She was the star in England, and they were very good friends with this, and this was from an 85-year-old woman that takes my spinning class, Sonia Davis. Unbelievable. Oh gosh. So I would say B-roll was one of the challenges.
Sure.
And then the other thing was we needed something to go underneath it like music. It wasn't really a challenge, but it's about communication as a filmmaker and as a journalist. You have to communicate. So I didn't know what to do about music, so I asked Darcy Allen of Darcy Allen Trio, a beautiful jazz musician here in town, if she would want to come in on the project. She said, no, but my son was. What are you looking for? So I said to her, whimsical, it needs to smell like Siesta Beach, and it has to also think of reuniting relationships. So a little melancholy, but hopeful. And her son, in one take, came up with this music, and I heard it. He sent it to me in the phone, and I listened to it in an instant message and a text, and I said, that's it. And we ran it throughout the film.
And the film was 12 minutes.
The film was a little over 12 minutes. Unbelievable.
So who else worked with you on the film besides the music person?
Well, actually, it was 2 other journalists, and one of them had worked with me here at SNN, and then the other one and I had worked together in another venue. So we'd all worked together, and the teamwork was really important and trying to get the women all on board. So, but we did it with a budget of 0, which is very unusual.
Yes. Well, then that's what you have to do. I mean, sometimes you have to do it. So that might be one of the things that you suggest to possible filmmakers out there, do you have any other suggestions for somebody who's looking to make a film? What would you suggest to them as they enter that kind of market?
That's a great question, and I would suggest that since everybody has a cell phone nowadays, there are many film competitions that require you to use maybe an iPhone or an Android. You can go out there and you can actually make a film on your phone, but I would suggest do your outline first, write your script, cast it, and make sure that you have good people working with you that are a cohesive team, but also creative enough that they'll put forth their ideas and fight for your ideas. Hash it out and then go shoot it.
Okay. Now social media, I'm sure, played, as you said, a large part in what you do and what we do.
Yes,
to
now.
connect. So what do you want people to take away from that? I mean, how can they, you know, reconnect with friends and maybe have their own experience?
I think that the way to do it now is with social media. Of course, we all connected without the use of social media, but since then we've had many, many people come forward. What I would say is, particularly for people that live in Sarasota, just put it out there, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and tell them to reach out to you if they knew you somewhere else, and you'd be amazed.
Okay, where can our viewers see your film if they'd like to?
Well, people can actually reach out to my Facebook page, which is fine, which is Alex Redmond, and unless you are a serial killer, I will probably friend you. And we also have one that's going up this week, which will say 6 Degrees of Sarasota.
All right, great. Thanks for being here, Alex, and congratulations. It was fabulous.
Thank you.
After the break, we have some exciting events to look forward to this weekend.